I'm Emily, and today I have Davie with me. Hey, Davie.
Hey, how's it going, Emily?
I'm good. How are you? I love your background. Love the clouds. Looks really nice and sunny where you are.
We're giving spring clouds. There's some horses and some chicken. We might see them later.
Yeah.
Are you going to take your horse to the Old Town Road?
I almost didn't catch that, but shout out.
Yes.
I was like they might come over. No, I get it.
Today Heather's co-hosting with me. Heather's my producer normally, but
Here
thought
we
it'd be
are.
fun. We're in Heather's apartment, so I said you get to host then. Fine. As payment
Yes.
for letting
Best
me
of
use your
both,
space.
best of both worlds. Best of both worlds.
All right, so you are an R&B songwriter based in New York, but originally from Jersey.
Yes.
You blend soul, funk, and smooth vocals. You channel the emotional depth of classic soul, but the swagger of modern funk. And you've had quite a few sync placements in your career, too. So you've had a bit of an interesting journey.
Yeah, it's been really fun. I mean, I love TV. I love movies. Like Kill Bill, Volume 1, Volume 2, Quentin Tarantino. Like, I would say the best thing about what I love is my music has been able to be in film and TV. And I love that because that's all I do is watch TV. So if I'm not working.
Yeah. I love the soundtrack of TV shows because it really, I don't know, like, yes, obviously soundtrack of movies matters too, but TV takes you through like longer journeys, and I think it's really interesting how music supervisors can weave in songs from all over, like old, new, covers with different vibes, and just really set the tone.
Well, one of my favorites with Euphoria is, now that season 3 is here, R.I.P. Labyrinth, not on this, but I think Euphoria season 1 is one of the best soundtracks ever, with Labyrinth's original stuff and then the different songs from different eras and stuff they pull in. I think it is just, we're going to do a podcast also on soundtracks.
Oh, love that.
Because I'm like, they're so influential, and I found so many songs from TV and movies.
I mean, I think that's like the holy grail of like a Solange or Labyrinth who can take, and make original music specifically for TV shows. Like Solange was music supervisor for Insecure for a few seasons. So I think when you look at HBO, they're just really good at artists being able to like really curate songs. I know for me as an artist, like Shonda Land, her team was really great with me when it came to Grey's Anatomy. They would always send me scenes and be like, hey, do you have songs at work? And we kind of had like a really good relationship. And so whenever artists are like, how'd you do that? I'm like, just make cool music and hopefully it has movement and some fun thing that, a director or creator can find you and really feel like it brings their art alive.
How did you build these relationships that led to these sync placements?
I really enjoy just making music in general. And if any of my friends are like, I'm opening a flower shop, want to play a song? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So living in LA, one of my friends needed an opener for one of their like kind of bigger clients. And so I played a set, and the music supervisor for Grey's Anatomy just happened to be there. And so I tell artists all the time, it's just like, just play your music and just enjoy it. You never know who's going to be in the room. You never know when the opportunity will present itself. The place was the iconic Hotel Cafe. The best advice I got when I moved to LA was play at the Hotel Cafe. So to answer your question, it was like, my friend was like, hey, I have a show at the Hotel Cafe. Could you play? And then ever since then, I'm like always playing at the Hotel Cafe. There's all types of people that are there. Scary people and good people.
Have you found any place in New York that's kind of like that, or not quite? I know it's a bit different.
I mean, this is a free plug. I found like so far is kind of having in Brooklyn is having like a resurgence of like people that are really in the community and creating like short films and all these things. So for me, it's been like so far in specific places have like really good artists and curators. I don't know. I need to find the place in New York that has that Hotel Cafe. I would say like Lower East Side just organically does have a feel where there's still some organic venues that are open and vibing and still like actually having things besides DJs. But anyway, I'm long ranted.
I digress.
Yeah.
No, I'm not super familiar with LA, but the vibe I get is that New York, because we have so many options, we sort of almost don't have a single solitary place.
Yeah. Community is really important in New York, but authenticity is as well. And so like for me as a soul R&B artist, I'm not going to like really go to like a rock space or those specific venues.
That makes sense. You want to be intentional about it.
100%. And so I always tell artists is like kind of find your tribe, play for them a bunch, and you'll kind of find like your path within that group of people.
Who were were some artists that really impacted you while you were growing up?
Well, growing up, I grew up in a very Christian home, so I was only allowed to listen to gospel. But gospel, yeah, it's the same. Heather's the same. But gospel music was like
Yeah,
really
gospel music
cool.
is gorgeous.
That's what I'm
No, sorry.
saying.
Mine was just like white person, like Christian music on the guitar that you just have to sit there and you're like, I'm so led. So you had way more culture
True
within
gospel
your
music is so beautiful.
Ours
so
was like Amazing Grace,
And you're like, well,
and I'm like, oh.
I think it's like, it depends because we had both where it's like, it was I won't say bands names for the sake of not getting in trouble, but like we had the like basic ones and then we had like the Kirk Franklin's, which was like, he puts on a show like no other. Clark sisters who inspired like Beyonce and Rihanna and all these amazing artists. So like growing up, it was, you're getting the cream of the crop. And so those were the artists that inspired me first because that was all I could listen to. And then my parents would like introduce me to Lauryn Hill, Sister Act. I mean, me and Heather talk about this all the time, but like Sister Act was that movie. And
Yes.
so it's like you just watch it all the time. And I think our generation, our age group, we just kind of got lucky where like there was just so many good moments of pop stars and R&B stars and soul artists coming from in really good movies and in really good soundtracks. And so that's kind of, Lauryn Hill was a big one. I mean, from Sister Act, and I mean, look at her now. So yeah.
It's also so interesting. This is like a little bit of like a side tangent, but it's so interesting too how many people, including you, grew up singing like in the church and like gospel and stuff. Like Katy Perry, perfect example. Like there's so many people that started there and then pivoted, but obviously pull from that same inspiration that you do.
There's so much history in gospel music.
Ethnomusicology.
Yeah, I love ethnomusicology. So there's so much history in gospel music where it comes from like all of these wide variety of influences. Like, you have Gregorian chants where, it starts and then it moves up to something more like on the organ. And then you have influence from people singing spirituals in like Appalachia. And it blends into this really beautiful and complex being. So I think gospel music is a really great place to get inspiration from.
It is. And then you vocally got to come correct. Like, there's no way you're going to sing it in a live setting and people want to feel moved. So it's the best boot camp. It's the best
and
boot
it's
camp.
like the literal physical architecture of the buildings you would sing it in is to highlight your voice. So there's no hiding.
No hiding.
What is the first show you remember attending?
Ooh, that's a fantastic question. Now, is this like against my will or did I want to go?
Hey, maybe against your will, and then the one that you really wanted to see first. I want to hear both now.
Well, no, it's like, I mean, when you grow up Christian, it's like you go to like DC Talk and you go to the like, you know what I mean? You go to like the Christian concerts because that's like kind of all. Stephen Curtis Chapman, Toby Mac. I will say like the one as a kid that I was like, this is amazing was like Plus One, and Stacey Orico had like a kind of like an NSYNC Britney Spears but for Christian kind of thing tour. Plus One was like the NSYNC of Christian music, and Stacey Orico did There's Gotta Be More to Life. So she had like a big mainstream crossover, but she started as a Christian artist. So the first concert I went to with my own money was their concert because I mean, yeah, it was so good, and there was like dancers and stuff, and I was like, oh.
How old were you? Do you remember?
Yeah, 12 or 13. And yeah, and it was like, wow. And people were screaming. It was like the first concert where like, oh, you're not screaming for Jesus? Like, that sounds so bad to say. But it was like, they were like screaming for the people on stage. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I want to do that. Scream for me.
I may have brought this up on another one of these episodes, but one of my favorite tweets of all time is like, oh my God, like I grew up like in the church and all the time when I would worship, it was like putting my hand up. I just always felt so connected.
I love this one too.
And then I went to a Harry Styles concert and I felt the exact same way. And then I realized I just really love live music.
Exactly. Oh, that's so true.
Whoever wrote that tweet, absolutely fucking
It is
icon.
very true. You look around at a concert and you're like, oh man, this is like, yeah, everyone's like into it.
I know, it's like we're all having a religious experience in front of Harry Styles. Harry Styles is a religious experience. So,
what is the first show you ever performed?
As an established artist or just like being young and forcing people to watch you?
Either. Whatever you felt was like a real starting point for you.
Okay, so real starting point. So I used to write songs, just like every song. I was like, I used to write songs, but like I would like have like a book and I would write lyrics and stuff. And I really moved towards like I loved lyricism, and I would listen to like lyrics, and I would listen to the radio and like write out the lyrics if I didn't have the album artwork. To answer your question, so I started making these songs, and my family went on vacation in Florida, of all places, Heather. And so he had a timeshare, but ours was like not facing a view, it was facing like another timeshare. But our balcony was facing the other balcony. And so I just started like saying, there was like a little bit of an audience. There was the other family there. Maybe I was like 11 or 12. We used to have this cassette tape, and I was like rapping my lyrics over it, and they started clapping, and they stayed there. And I did like song after song, to the point where my mom opened the door of the deck, and there's like an audience out there. Like my parents still remember it. And it was like, people were like, their family was like enjoying it and clapping. And I was like, oh yeah, I made these lyrics myself. Like I was like boasting. And so my parents always tell me that story. They were like, oh, you were so confident. Every time you would perform in front of someone, like go to Walmart or something, I would like sing them my song.
It's giving the yodel kid.
Yeah.
Mason Ramsey.
Mason Ramsey.
Oh my gosh, R.I.P. He got a record deal. Where is he at? I want to see him.
Dude, that was a fucking banger. And then he had that song with, speaking of Old Town Road, he had that song with Lil Nas X.
Oh, did he?
It was, I can't remember what it's called now.
And then he does this spin. He does this spin in the GIF that I use all the time. Yeah.
She knew me. She knew you. Mason Ramsey, if you're listening to this, we fucking
Ramsey,
love
come
you,
on the
King.
pod.
Come
I know
on
you're
the
not
pod.
indie, but come on the pod.
I don't care. We'll make an
also,
exception.
Did you see me just look at where our tripod? I'm sorry, we had a camera there for the previous guest, and I just went and made eye contact with the empty tripod.
No, that was the first time I performed for free. And then I think it was just like a free. Well, no, as musicians, we perform for free all the time.
All the time, yeah.
All the time, especially indie artists. But yeah, professionally, probably at some church event. You know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it is, Heather.
I thought you were going to say it was a church event. That's why I was like, yes, professionally, but it can also be church.
Yeah, church is an event where they charge people, the youth, to see you play. And then the youth are like, yeah, okay, you're going to be the next usher. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Who would you say gave you your first break?
You know, I'm on this thing of like recognizing women in the music industry, because women always move the needle forward. They just do. Women, you know, of all shades, women of color, queer women, all women, like, and they're in the music industry, like, they recognize hard work and they recognize like true talent. So I'm going to say Alex Petsavis, who was the music supervisor for like Grey's Anatomy and Hunger Games and like all these really big things. She is a legend and was a legend at the time. And she signed me to her first publishing. Like she had like a she was a publisher as well as a music supervisor. And like, I didn't have a cut of anything. I was like 20 years old, just like making beats. And she really took time to like get her team to like rally around. Like, he wants to be the next Pharrell. He's a producer. He makes songs. Let's not put him in all these rooms. And I feel like professionally, she was the first person as a woman to see the work ethic and to really like grab lunch with me, along with like Casey Truman, who was her partner. Like, those women, I would not be where I'm at without them. They kind of have always championed my music and moved it forward. And it's Casey Truman and Alex Petsavis.
It's nice to hear that like the break is even just getting you in the room. Like, people underestimate that, I think, so greatly. Like, in a relationship-based industry, just getting FaceTime with someone can change your whole life.
Being a challenger, I would challenge people in the industry to not only take those artists in the room, but like be a part of their life, like continue past sometimes the introduction point. Like, it needs to be community, because at the end of the day, if you just turn the artist over to someone, you know what I mean? It's like you have a baby and then you turn them over to the wolves and they're like, oh no, like, what happened to my baby? It got eaten. It's like, well, you need to like guide it through the wilderness. And I just feel like women specifically in the industry are really good at that, like check-ins and mental health, and really helping you feel like, do you like this person? Do you want to work with this person? It's like a sensitivity, but strength in that I just really admire. It has a strength to it where they're like aware of who works with who, and it's intuition as well. Sorry, we can talk about women in the industry. That's the podcast. Sorry.
It's funny you say that, because this will now be the 8th episode of my show. That's something I have been considering. Like, the people I had on in the beginning, I don't want to just like have them on and bye forever. Like, thanks for like, that is something I also am trying to be cognizant of like, oh no, but if they're playing, I need to be an active member of my community as well. Like,
Yes.
it can't just be one way. So that is a really salient point, I think, to how this should work.
So you're basically saying you're going to come to all my shows, Emily? Just kidding.
Yeah, please. I would love to.
Oh, from your mouth to everyone's ears. No. They're gonna be like, "Was she at your show?" I'm like, just kidding.
Meanwhile, I've got like 6 shows that night because every single person I interviewed is performing all across the.
He's like, so where's Emily? Oh, she's not here. Anyway, don't listen
to
Emily's
visit.
She's fake as hell.
I rescind my episode. So you decided pretty young music was your path then.
Yeah. I mean, you know what's interesting is I love other things. I always say like music is a vehicle to people. I really enjoy like people and community, and music is like the vehicle for an awkward person like myself. So I never wanted my identity to be like as a musician alone. It's really like that's just the way to like meet great people and connect with them and be in community with them and support them in any way I can. It's just through music.
One of the people we've interviewed in the past, she said the same thing. Music is a vehicle for her to live an extraordinary life.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Music is a vehicle for me to live an extraordinary life.
Yeah.
You're gonna edit it like I said it.
Poignant for her to say. Like, it's true. Like, music is her passion and her art and stuff, but it's also just an opportunity for her to meet people and try new things and get into new spaces.
We could say the same for us, though.
I would agree, because we're not musicians, but music is absolutely the way we've...
Yeah.
But we are musicians, we just don't play on stage.
Yeah. We're musicians in our heart and soul.
Yeah, exactly. On my bed, playing the guitar. I'm a hell of a musician. Yeah.
You're like, in my mind, I'm putting on a performance that Lady Gaga will rival Lady Gaga.
My roommate's cat thinks I am a performer because that is my main audience.
My gosh, cats are drawn to sound and like vibe. They're always like coming around when you're writing a song. I don't have a cat, but I've lived with cats, and every time you're like writing a song with a guitar, they're like, meow.
You're like, period.
Yeah.
Or they're like, no.
Yeah, 100%.
They're like sprinting away, and they're like, ooh, yeah.
They're like, what's this sound? Bad.
They're like, that's definitely a sound.
Yeah. They try to contribute, add some singing.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are you currently working on? Like, where are we going right now?
In this era of like EPs as an artist, I've like put my foot down. So there's no more EPs. I'm finishing up my debut album. I had this first EP called Black Gospel, and like I put up the money all by myself, and like Spotify supported it, and like it just really, it still is the best streaming songs I have are from that EP, and it just came from a place of like authenticity, and I was just like writing the songs with my friends. And so I wanted my debut album to kind of return to that feeling of just like organic honesty and a sense of community. Yeah, and I wanted it to feel like a revival of some sort. So the working title for the debut album is Soul Revival, and it's this idea of just like reviving your heart, your mind, your soul, and like bringing us back to like where we were before, you know, we lost something. For me, or for some of us, it could be COVID. You know, we're just like in the house with pajamas. Sometimes it's heartbreak. Sometimes it's, you know, a loss of a family member. And so I just wanted this album to kind of symbolize like you getting your passion back, revival of your mojo, revival of that, like your soul, basically. And it's been fun to like work through and workshop and play out. We've played it out quite a bit, or just like I've been playing it at so far. And I just think that's important for artists right now, because I used to hate that, but I think like developing your craft, playing it for people. I've played it for Heather, like playing it for different people, getting their notes, changing it around. And so we're still in that phase of just like tweaking it and getting it right, not to a perfectionist level, but to a level that makes sense in the big scheme of things. Sorry, I'm very long-winded. That was 20,000 minutes.
No, I love it. In one class I took at one point, they were talking about how Lady Gaga, her first album was such a success because that's exactly what she did. She put out singles in like really small controlled spaces, get feedback, go back, re-edit, retool it, and then go that way. So she knew at least like 80% of the album was going to be well received before she even put it out. I
think an artist can only put a body of work out once they know like their mission, what their goal is, who it's for. You know what I mean? Like, I love Zara Larsson. I'm like listening to Midnight Sun, but like I can't try to produce that. You know what I mean? As like a mid-30s black guy, like soul guy. So it's like, I think that sometimes artists, we love to create things, and sometimes we just kind of are like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. But I feel like when you make a body of work, it does have to make sense to like who you want to be. And Lady Gaga, as you use, is such a great example of that. Like, when she creates bodies of work, she embodies it with like her wig and her hair and her vibe and like everything. And obviously same thing with Beyonce with the Cowboy Carter and Renaissance. Like, and do you feel like we're coming back to that as artists, is like having like a full thought, a full world that people can envelop themselves into? But I always tell artists, like, you may like a song, but it don't mean you should be doing it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yes, I agree. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, I was just listening to Jack Antonoff say that, like, yes, for a while it was all about, like, hits and virality and singles and TikTok and all that, but at the end of the day, you need a safe place for your listeners to land, so your album still needs to be a thought-out piece of work. It needs to still be king.
And we might come back to it. Like, there's albums that I thought were so whack when they came out, and then now I'm like, oh, this album's kind of hitting. Like, it's hitting a little later, so...
Sometimes also, depends on your stage of life when you're listening to it.
True. But I feel like a lot of albums that came out this year, because there's so much going on, we're not really, like, having moments with. It's literally just, like, I'm like, oh, this person put out an album I didn't even know. But I'm like, maybe they'll hit in, like, 3 years when we can, like, chill out and relax. You know what I mean? Like, relax, or 4 years or whatever. It's like...
Well, it's like what you were saying about Harry Styles. Like, that album got, like, maybe 2 weeks of cover, and then it kind of just...
Yeah.
Fizzled out. But maybe...
Yeah. I mean, we even had a Bruno album. Bruno was, like, one of the biggest Spotify artists, and, like...
He's the number one artist on Spotify.
He's the number one artist on Spotify, and, like, I feel like we're not having, like... I don't see anybody dancing to... Like, we're not having moments. So it's just, like, I do feel like with music, like, your people will love it, and... focus on that versus like it being this like ginormous, like the whole world loves it.
Right. Focus on your tribe.
You love the T word.
Yeah. There's a call back if you're still with us.
Yeah, it's from the beginning if you're still here.
Thank you, if you are.
Who are your current collaborators that you regularly work with?
Ooh. Me? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Sometimes there's a
all my personalities.
Yeah.
I have to give my dad a shout out. Like I always check in with my dad. Like, he plays me, because my dad writes songs as well. He's a pastor, but he has his, like, little rap projects and fun stuff that he does. Yeah, so it's like, us as a family, we check in quite a bit with each other. Also, because their goal isn't to, like, put things on Spotify. They truly show me that, like, you can write a song and just have fun. And so, I feel like my family are my collaborators. My cousin is one of my creative directors. Like, we're always shooting things and making cool content. So I would say family, for right now, are like the trusted source.
Mm-hmm. Creativity literally runs in your blood.
But in a fun sense. Like, they've taught me to, like, you can be creative just like you breathe. Everything doesn't have to be like capitalism. Like, I personally have chosen to do it as a career, but they create all the time, like paintings and like fun stuff, and have art galleries, and like they have no Instagram. So like that's why I'm like, man, that's kind of the goal, to just like be a creative person and making cool stuff without the ego.
My family's very similar. We literally have a manila folder of like handwritten stuff from like all the way back to when they were in high school, where they rewrote parody songs.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have like Another Job Bites the Dust is one, because my aunt like had a bunch of part-time jobs, or we sometimes just sit around and pull out the old manila folder with all the lyrics and put on a karaoke version of the song, and yeah, it's just for us. So
you need to do an episode of that. You need to do an episode of someone in your family where you guys just go over.
Like, it's not us.
No,
Emily and I sang karaoke one time, and it was so scary.
So I agree with you. That like being surrounded by that type of creativity, where there is no ego behind it, where there is no capitalism behind it, it's very fun.
You're just doing it for the love.
Yeah, you're literally just
doing it for the love. Yeah.
I love that.
How do you? So collaborators who you aren't related to.
Yes.
Do you recommend going out and finding some?
I'm gonna sound old saying this. You just gotta let it happen. I am a pusher. Like, you ever watch Mean Girls? I always quote that. I am a pusher, Caddy. I'm a pusher. No, I am. I push people. No, I moved to Nashville, and I was going to every open mic, and I was like emailing every producer, which is good. And I think when you're in your 20s and you have that gas in you, do it. But the people that have stuck, as far as like songwriters that we have a good relationship, whether we get a hit or not together, it wasn't forced. It kind of just came organically by us actively being in each other's lives. Like, I don't know if a song will ever come out. I have to shout out Mickey Echo. When I lived in Nashville and had no friends, he was like my first friend. We shared a studio space. And Mickey Echo, for the listeners that don't know, he wrote Stay by Rihanna and like a bunch of other hits. And, you know, he wrote all of the new Teddy Sim songs that we love, you know, Lose Control, like all those. He's just at least in my life, was just like a good friend. Whether we were like musical collaborators or not, I encourage artists to just like find collaborators in life and creatively. And then like when the time comes out, you have a song, or producer wants to produce for you. But I used to be a pusher where I was like, produce my record. Like, we've been hanging out, we're friends. And it's like, you want people to want to work with you. That's the advice I would give them, is just like, just be friends with people, and organically, if you're young enough to go out to everything, do it. But if you're not that person, I mean, look at Billie Eilish, look at Billie and Phineas. They're a great example of like, okay, that's her brother. You know what I mean? Like, that's a natural collaborator that is related to her. And if you try to move either of them out of that ecosystem, it could work because they're both talented, but we don't know.
But I feel like that's also such good advice. Like, yeah, Billie is way more like, I'm saying this like she's my close and personal friend, but Billie is like more shy and reserved, and like Phineas, at least at the beginning, like was the one that was like out there more. Yeah. And like even within music business, like Emily and I both have literally started from zero contacts, absolutely nothing, and have just, again, you put yourself in these rooms, like, yes, it will end up coming to you, but like my mom always, because I'm like, oh my God, can you believe this happened? My mom's like, well, yeah, you made your own luck. So it's like, you have to push and you have to get there, but you have to like meet enough people. And like, again, if you're really shy, like then find another musician or someone that you know to be like, hey, do you want to come to the Guild of Music Supervisors thing with me, whatever, and then both of you go. Like Emily and I go to events together all the time, and it's always like, yes, we both can like literally talk to a door, but like it's still and frequently do. But it's just easier.
No, exactly.
Even if you are a yapper, just to like know that somebody else is there, because yes, it can be scary being like, hey, I'm an artist, listen to my art, and people be like, who the fuck are you? You know?
Yeah, but I like what you said, like a collaborator in life. Like I would say that about this. Like we maybe aren't. Like, we're not artists in the sense that, like, we'll collaborate on an album together, but we found each other's strengths and where we can support one another. And, like you said, now we'll go to events together and wingman each other. And
we can't sing, but we can fucking talk.
Yeah, but I can, So, that's a good point. Like, a life collaborator is nice. It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
And then you become friends with them past that. I did think of some collaborators I do have to shout out. One is Amy Cooney. She wrote on my DAVIE project, and she's written with like Kelly Clarkson and written with Chappell Roan. She wrote like some of my favorite songs from Chappell, like the singles and stuff. And she's one of the most like generous writers. Again, a woman. She's great. And I love just seeing her shine and thrive. I haven't had a song out with Maddie Diaz, but I just love everything she does. She's a great writer as well. I feel like there's just a lot of collaborators in the Nashville community that whether we get a song out, they give great advice. Like Natalie Hempy is one of them. She's like a country music legend. She always gives me great advice. Yeah, and so all of those people I enjoy collaborating with, and I enjoy writing with, and I enjoy getting their advice, because that's what we really need sometimes.
Speaking of Nashville, yes, we heard like some of your beginnings, but when you even said like, oh, my first break was like with sync stuff, I thought you were gonna say it was when you went to Nashville. Like, can you tell us a little bit about?
Yeah.
I mean, you were like young. Like this was
very
like,
young.
This is such an interesting story.
So my origin story, when you're like grow up as a singer, you're like, oh, I'm in a little small town. These vocal coaches come to your small town. There's a vocal coach by the name of Brett Manning, who like is Taylor Swift's vocal coach, and Haley Williams from Paramore, and Take Six. Long story short, this vocal coach came to my small town, and he did these things like workshops where he takes really young teenagers and you sing for him. And he's like, oh yeah, whatever. He collects a check and he goes home. But when it was my turn to sing for him, I sang a song I wrote. So artist, if you write, always do that. So I sang this song for Brett Manning, and he essentially called in my parents, and he basically was like, I would love any way I can to help this kid get to Nashville. I was maybe about 14 or 15, and he did exactly what he said. He really helped support me, my family. We got a place in Nashville. He called up, Brian McKnight and Claude McKnight of Take Six, and basically was like, I have this really talented kid. At the time, I went by James David, James is my first name and David is my middle name. So I was a different artist name, but that Nashville community really rallied behind me. They would check in. Me and my dad would meet other producers, and I was only 15 or 16. And so there was that developmental aspect of things with Brett Manning and with Brian McKnight and Claude McKnight and Take Six and a lot of those early industry people in Nashville that really changed my life. And then eventually, like every other artist, I hit puberty, got old, and they dropped me. And that record will never come out and see the light of day. But it was the thought that counts.
It's the connections you made.
Land experience, even. Like,
it was a land experience. My parents still listen to that Christian record. They were trying to make me like the Christian Chris Brown. Yeah, and then I got older.
Well, yeah, probably not the best.
Also, like, then I like voted for Obama and I turned 18 and I was like liberal and they were like, yeah, this isn't gonna work.
Like, ooh, actually.
Yeah, I was like, actually, yeah, he's woke. Oh, we don't know about this. But
God,
yeah,
that is such a 2000s story though, and like I'm almost like nostalgic for you with that, because like even thinking about, I mean, how do most A&Rs find people now? Social media. Like,
yeah, it was in real time.
I love that it's like, oh my God, yeah, he went to my town and found me. Like, we need to, whoever you, Brian, whatever, bring that back, please.
Yeah. All right, so you've been performing them for a long time. Do you have any like really memorable onstage experiences?
I do. I got lucky and blessed, or whatever you like to call it. And Selena Gomez, also shout out, naming some big names. Her and her dad happened to be at a showcase I was doing at Hotel Cafe. Like, I played, I think, during the time when like all these industry people were there to see another artist. And Selena Gomez happened to be in the crowd with her dad. I played like a soulful set, which is so interesting. I didn't even do pop. But like 5 days later, I was the opener for her Stars Dance Tour, which was like, if you love it, come and get it. Na, 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 na. And that changed my life because it showed me that like anything can happen. 5 days before I was playing at Hotel Cafe, and then 5 days later I'm playing in Barclay. I would say that was crazy because my grandmother got to see me play in a stadium. Like, my family got to see, you know, if I hopefully, and I believe I will again, but they got to see me like in that way, and all my friends. And so, yeah, I think that was my favorite performance, you know, showing all the haters like, yeah, look at me.
How do you prep for an arena show in 5 days?
My mom's a Virgo. Like, my parents are prepared for everything. They're prepared for like the end of times. You know what I mean? Like,
which is
you
more
gotta,
likely than getting an arena show in 5 days, by the way.
I mean, at this point, 100%. And I was singing at church at that time. And again, shout out to like her team. Her team wasn't like, oh, this is your thing. Like, her choreographer was like, hey, let me step in and give you some, you know, moves. Like, everybody was so supportive. But I mean, like I say, if you're ready, you stay ready. You know, you're always on ready.
That's great. But
that's the importance of how important it is for artists to be
ready.
And it's like you have to like over rehearse, for example. You have to have all of your gear that's there, because you know, like, again, Chaperone could pick up the phone tomorrow and say like, I saw this video of you on fucking TikTok or whatever it is, and it's like you have to be there. Like,
and the crazy thing about now with the internet, this was like when Just Jared was kind of popular. That was like the only thing. See, like, I'm like making myself so old millennial, but like, Just Jared had reviewed the tour, and like normally they just review like Selena, but like you can still see articles of like reviewing my set, and like that was my first lesson of like, people are watching, and you need to make sure that you're ready. And so I didn't want to embarrass her and her dad and her brand by like showing up sloppy and gross. But I would say that was like my favorite era, because my parents got to see it and I got to meet some really good friends. A lot of her dancers, ironically, are dancers for Sabrina. So that's my favorite thing to like, run into like them, like, oh my gosh, what's up? And it's like, they dance for Sabrina Carpenter now.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, dancers can be like 50 and still dance and like look
good. No, dancers are like an anomaly.
But I don't know how their body even does it.
Yeah.
Dancers are just like, my first industry job was dancing on Glee. And I have so much respect. I have so much respect for dancers, because what is expected of you, like for the continuity for your body to like always look like on point, like you cannot gain weight. I don't want to make that like all the time, but in specific settings where you're like playing dancing as a high schooler, like you have to show up.
Also, like,
with Ryan Murphy.
Also, like, the costumes are usually tailored to you, and if you have
and they're not changing them for no dancer. I mean, if you're like a star, yes, but for us, we were like expected to know the routines, and it was a lot of blocking around actors. That's how I learned. Like, the star is the star. If the star is wrong, but they're saying they're not wrong, then they are right and you are wrong, and you adjust yourself. And so like, then you become a singer and you kind of like appreciate dancers and crew and just like things better, because you've been all of these things. and you know how it feels.
That's fascinating.
Shout out dancers, man.
Shout out dancers. Well, I loved that. Zara, speaking of Zara Larsson, she, during her costume break, had her dancers do a roll call where they introduced themselves. Yeah, and that was on every single stop of the tour, was while she did a costume change, they did a roll call. And I thought that was really clever and smart because dancers, exactly, shout out dancers. They they set the mood just as much as the lights and the ambiance, yeah.
And I love that a lot of pop stars now, whether it is Zara, whether it is Taylor, actually, of all people, having the dancers not just be tiny, white women. It's no, there's people of all sizes, all colors, all sexualities, genders, whatever. I think that's so cool.
I just saw Florence, and she had hers
oh my god, those dancers were amazing.
Yeah, Florence's show looks so good.
Oh my god, it was amazing.
It's incredible. Yeah, that's a show I would love to see. I also enjoyed Demi's show. Again, shout out to Demi. She knows who she is as an artist. She knows that she can do the fun dance stuff, but we want to hear her belt. She's a fantastic singer. I was floored because you see clips, but being there, she sang for 2 hours, no backing tracks, fully sing, full send, hitting the notes. So grateful to be there. And I just think she knows who she is. She knows that we love the fun stuff, but we want to hear what makes her different than everyone else. And I personally think it's her voice, and it made the show so great. Yeah.
Where did you see her?
At Madison Square Garden. It was sold out, and it just was man, good to see a singer
yeah, she's a true vocalist, I would say. She's
true, yeah, and her choices have matured, because she's older, so it's love it.
How have you cultivated your fan base over the years?
I'll be transparent. It changes, man. Things are changing for artists, early on, I would just go to house shows. Heather, do you want to play at your house? Get a group of 12 girlfriends, right? And then to a degree that still works, but when you're older, it doesn't work as much, right? Because that's something for I don't know, just a generation of that. So even to this day, I would say I have a following to a certain degree, but most of it's in real life because I played sororities and my friend's fraternity. We were just doing that anywhere in a house. We were playing that pretty early on, 2015. We had played in everyone's homes for 3 years.
Underground frat basement shows in 2015 as well.
Yeah. So we encourage artists to do that now.
Yeah,
that's still very
that's
much
what I was
going
to say. Please, if you find a frat that's willing to host a show, absolutely do it, because
college
is such a good way. The college community, as they emerge as adults and real people, they're going to carry that with them.
For sure.
The challenging part I do feel is back then, there was such a cool factor in being present. And even when I do so far things now, I will challenge consumers. Sorry, but sometimes I feel Spotify and you having, a million songs, it does make consumers feel more powerful than they are. And so sometimes they're talking or checking out or moving in and out, and it's almost as if you're there to serve them. And back in the day, in a way, it was there was an appreciation, and we're in a sacred space when we come to a show, and we're having this together, right? The audience is having it with the musicians. But I saw this wonderful.
Trying to be president.
Yeah, I had that whole rant. Go to a fucking bar if you just want to sit there and talk and listen to music.
100%.
Shut the fuck up and listen. You can't get on stage and sing. Yeah. You can't get on stage and play the guitar and do all of this stuff. So have some respect. If you are at a music venue,
so sit down.
Yeah. Right. Or if you don't like the artist, then wait for the song to be over and go upstairs and smoke a cigarette or something. You don't have to be rude.
I don't know how we change that. So I still encourage artists to do that, but I'm if you do soft jazz, the last place you need to be is a loud venue with bars.
Don't
and
go
the
to
crackle.
That's not for you.
Yeah. So it's just if you do country music, go to a frat house all day. You know what I mean? Go to Nashville, go to Austin.
I have 2 questions left and then a quick game. So I know. I'm sorry, we're almost done, but
no, it's okay.
What advice do you have for artists trying to break through the noise?
I didn't make this up. I saw a quote from this person, so I'm going to kind of steal it. It's you have to be making a sound. And so there has to be action behind what you're doing. There is a lot of noise. And if you are not contributing something that is important or saying something, then it does become noise. First, I would learn my sound, which is I am creating joyful soul music that lifts people's spirit, right? Like that's the identity of that sound. And if artists understand that, then I feel like the second thing I would encourage them to do is like find where that sound is lacking. Post your stuff there, go around those people because they don't have anything like you. They don't have anything that sounds like you. Kind of find the place that's missing who you are and your vibe. And I feel like then what you're doing won't feel like noise, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not an oversaturated market.
Yeah, because sometimes it feels like sound because it's like we're just fed noise every day. Like, New Music Friday, and it's like maybe 3 things that I would personally like, but then it's like 103 things that like it's not for me. So then I'm like fatigued and I don't want to give those 3 things attention. So I would tell an artist, it's like, okay, then move to your friend's private curated soul playlist or playlist that is based out of San Antonio, Texas, and you do whatever, you know what I mean? And like focus on that because that's not going to be noise to people. That's going to be like so exciting for them to like hear your music and they'll listen to it. Anyway, that was a rant.
No, wait, obsessed.
Our final question is always, what is your music industry hot take?
My music industry hot take, I think that songwriters need a day rate. I know that's like not a crazy hot take because they're trying to have it happen. But just as someone very young who has a major publishing deal and like was writing every day because I was young because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. I was expected to write every day and pay my bills. Your A&R is on salary. So why are songwriters just expected to like go in and like write for free? That always kind of shocks me that there isn't like a common sense like day rate because singers get day rate. I don't know if people know that. Like I've sang backup on industry records. Like they're paying me as a singer. They're not just like, oh, well, if this makes the record. Whether it makes the record or not, Childish Gambino, I'm on his record Redbone. He could have done 20 tracks. He has to pay all of the singers for their time.
But it's the same with sync too. Even if the song, they're like, if it's an original composition, for example, even if they don't pick your version of it up, they still pay you. Like,
well, and I say session musicians too.
Yeah, session musicians always get paid.
Session musicians always get paid. Yeah. So my hot take would be, yeah, you should probably pay songwriters a day rate, fixed salary, something. I mean, man. Oof.
Okay, so the game we play is Fact or Fiction. So yours is obscure music genres. Is it a music genre or is it a word I made up? Ready?
Yes.
Vaporwave.
It's a genre music.
It is. So the first album is this one called Echo Mega Chuck Person's Echo Jams Volume 1.
Ooh.
I tried to put in if it was real, who made it.
I'm turning that shit up after this.
Is it like, Witch House? Is that, you saying, is that a genre or is that a...
Is it genre or is it a fake thing Emily made up?
Witch House? I feel like it's a fake genre.
It's not, it's real and whole.
Oh no!
Artist. Jumbo Pop.
That's definitely fake.
Correct. That one is fake. Funk folk.
Ooh. Well, that's not how you spell funk, but maybe like...
Oh, is it not? Funk? No, funk.
Oh,
What is
funk.
Yeah.
I think that's
Wait,
fake.
can you see the screen? It is
Yeah.
fake, but funk is a genre on its own.
Yeah, but like PHONK is a genre?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh wow, I'm not smart enough. I thought it was like funk, like FUNK.
It's like derivative of funk, but it's more electronic based.
Ooh, okay. But it isn't a genre.
No, not with folk. No, not together.
I love the possum.
Thank you. Murder folk.
That is one. I would say yes.
Yes, and this is Amigo the Devil is the artist who is most well known for it. Calculator core.
I would say no.
No. There's calculator music where it's like electronic beats, but
That's what I thought.
What
Yeah. I was like, maybe that's what it's properly called.
No. Baby core.
Ooh.
Is it just Coco Melon?
I think yes.
No.
Oh
It's
man,
It's a clothing style.
It's a style. You're right, because normcore is. I love
Mhm.
normcore. Babycore is a style. You're right. Oh,
Clothing style, yeah. Kawaii or cute metal?
no.
Yeah, it is, and it's this Japanese baby metal band. It's must.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Folk wave.
Yes.
I didn't think so.
Oh
but
man, I love
okay.
folkwave. I love folkwave.
What did you type in to get these pictures?
This is the one that took me the longest to find, and then I eventually just looked up man surfing with pajama.
Perfect.
Beauty pop.
No.
Correct. It was actually a manga.
Okay.
That sounds like a bit different.
Queer country.
It probably should be, but no.
No, it is. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
It's like that's like a proper genre, queer country.
Yeah, and I was actually surprised to find out that Orville Peck's not in it. This woman, Karen in the Sorrows, is the most famous queer country pioneer.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Lowercase.
No.
Yeah, it is. It's so popular.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
a compilation album.
That's crazy. What?
I don't know. I can't pretend I understand any of them.
Me neither. Absolutely not. But I do love goblins. Wait, there's what? Are these like genres or like people making this up?
I mean, I was looking for like obscure genres of music, and I was able to find multiple artists for each one of these.
Wow, that's insane. You can find any genre.
Yeah, I play goblin.
Feral pop.
No.
That's just pop music.
Yeah.
Which Heather's also wearing a Twilight shirt today.
Hold on.
Ooh.
It says, "This is the skin of a killer, Bella," and it's Robert Pattinson. That picture of him in the kitchen.
He was so good in the drama. He was so good in the drama.
I just saw the drama.
This is our last one, medieval folk rock.
This is a genre for sure.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right,
of course.
Nice job.
Medieval folk rock is kind of like a festival. They have a whole festival.
I believe you. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it would be like at like a Renaissance.
Right, yeah, Renaissance
fair or something.
So, Davie, thank you so much for coming on. Where can everyone find you?
Okay, so you can find me at musicbydavie.org. Yes, we are an organization. No, I'm just kidding.
You and all your personalities.
Yeah, or you can find me on Instagram, Music by Davie. The cool thing is that Davie is a city in Florida, so never type in DAVIE. Always type in Music by Davie. Okay,
learn that
so
while researching you for this episode.
Yes. Music by Davie TikTok, Music by Davie YouTube, Music by Davie web.org, and you'll find me there. And always feel free to DM me. Always feel free to invite me to a festival or something for free.
Do you have any shows coming up you want to shout out?
I do in London. If you have your London listeners, I'm playing at this really cool new venue in Dalston, and it's on June the 16th. And I should have more details about that show, but I'm excited about it.
Follow you on Instagram for
Follow me on Instagram. But I love playing in the UK, and that's our next show on June 16th. And I love playing there. It's going to be outside, and it's in a beautiful garden. You can bring booze and sit down in the lawn and hear good soul music.
I know.
Yes.
Go see him in London, love.
Exactly.
In Dalston.
All right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to call out before we go?
Well, last question for you guys. What would you say is the best place to listen to live music in? Like, if I'm going to leave and go listen to live music right now.
That's a good question.
Like, if my listeners...
It depends on the genre, I think.
That's what I was about to say. My listeners that like soul funk, like, where should they go to hear some, like, good funky music?
New Blue.
Yeah.
New Blue. Okay, New Blue.
Drum.
Yeah, Drum is good. I like venues where you can sit, so Drum is a good one. Like, if you want to, where there's room to
New
stand
Blue
up
is a great one. Yeah.
I love New Blue. I guess also, what is that place in the West Village? It's off like West 3rd and
there's a swanky piano bar near me up in Hell's Kitchen called So and So as well.
Ooh, I'm gonna check out So and So.
Oh, Cafe Wa.
Cafe, yeah, okay. Good. All the listeners, check these places out.
Yeah, I feel like New Blue and Drum, though, specifically, I can shout out. I've booked many shows both places, and it's all different types of genre, but it's still like kind of like solely at like the core, whether it's like it leans more jazz or it leans more pop, like there's still that core of, and everyone who sings there can like really sing, and it's like a whole performance and a whole to do. So totally recommend.
Seen some good artists at Drum.
Yeah, and at Drum you can sit down. So that we love, and you can order food.
Yeah, they have a
yes, everyone's gonna be smacking while I'm singing. I'm just kidding.
I saw a Bunny Miles cover show at the Cutting Room. I think that's also a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm also at 1%, so if it dies, it's not you guys.
Wait, no. Wait, you need to go plug your phone in, though, because I need to make sure that this is all uploaded.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, Davie. Thank you so much.
'Cause hot girls always win. Thanks for listening to Emily Spins It, presented by the Indie Music Network and Not Dead Yet Media. Produced by Heather Armas, Oren Strobel, Nicole Caracost, and Anya Kauffman. Edited by me, Emily Mills. Our intro and outro music is Hot Girls Always Win by Really Blonde. If you've enjoyed the episode, please support the podcast by sharing, subscribing, and leaving a review. You can also follow the show on Instagram and YouTube at Emily Spins It. For more shows about breaking through the noise, head over to the Indie Music Network podcast. If you have questions or feedback, contact us at notdeadyetmedia.com/contact.